Okay guys, this video is about something that caused a spark when I was rewatching my last video. I was going to include some content trying to push my agenda as well as some other specific topics, but I decided to keep this a standalone video because I want this to be side neutral, if you will, though I'm sure I'll give away my position at one point. So for some reason, I felt compelled to disclose which side I'm on in my last video, and I did this primarily because of transparency reasons. I think it's important that you know where I come from with most of my thought processes. However, I do think it's a symptom of a larger problem that I had to say which side I'm on. Um, when I first began using the internet heavily as a child, which would be roughly 2002 or when I was 12, the most beautiful part of it was that we didn't have identities or sides, we just had ideas. There weren't photos to see skin color, there weren't names to identify race or ethnicity or whatever other form of ID that we so desperately crave. Most forums and chat rooms, etc., were just words. What this resulted in was the pure judging of the content of what is being said. There is no, oh, he's a Trump supporter, so he's a racist, homophobic, redneck dumbass. There is no, oh, that's just another mind-controlled sheep on the left. We didn't have the ability to discredit someone for who we thought they were. There was just simply the message, the words, and the idea. Were there grammar Nazis? Yeah, but they kind of do us a favor. Um, I know not everyone is like this, not everyone hates the other side, but it seems like it's kind of getting worse. Um, uh, for those of us who used the internet heavily in the earlier days, that's how we remember it, and I'm sure you can find numerous articles talking about this. This isn't an original concept of mine. Um, I'm also sure many of you used the internet long before I did. I don't claim to be an old man, just someone who has seen a transformation of the internet from what it was to what it is now. Um, Here's what I'm getting at, and I don't have a great transition for this, but ultimately what I'm seeing happen in America right now is division, a lot of division, and I don't like it at all. There's a lot of not listening to the other side from both sides. Um, Me and my friends would play a lot of League of Legends, an online video game, and when we weren't doing so well, we would start arguing with each other, placing blame on the other one for making a mistake. This happens more often when you start to play the game competitively in ranked. The friend who always knows how to calm down tense situations would always scream, "We're tearing at the seams, boys!" And I loved it. It helped us keep things in perspective. It was a video game and we're supposed to be having fun. Now, granted, this is life, but I think we can have fun and get things done at the same time. Um, if we aren't able to look each other in the eye and talk to each other like adults, they win. Whoever you see as the enemy, it doesn't matter, because the true enemy is us getting angry at each other and not settling down at some point. I see fault on both sides. I see fault on the left for literally seeking out reasons to get offended, and the right for literally seeking out reasons to offend someone. Um, I have no problem not saying the N-word, that's fair. But if we keep adding to that list of words that automatically allows us to completely discredit and ignore the other person, then we truly isolate ourselves. I think, and I'm not a psychiatrist here, but I think it's pretty common knowledge that when we're alone for too long, we start to go kind of crazy. It appears the same thing happens when we isolate our worldviews. They start to get crazy, and that inhibits our ability to look at things from the perspective of reality, which is always going to be in the middle somewhere. Sometimes that might fall to the left of the middle and sometimes to the right, but either way, we've got to get our shit together or we're not going to be able to see the bigger picture at any point in time. Um, like I said in my first video, I come from the Trump side, if you will. But I do my best to look at both sides, and that can be hard when we don't talk to each other. Recently, my uncle, who's a lefty, stated that he doesn't think we should talk politics anymore because we'll just never come to a consensus. But the thing is, we don't have to come to a consensus. We simply have to listen and talk to each other. Now, maybe he doesn't enjoy talking with me, who knows, but I enjoyed talking with him. I enjoyed in the past that we're able to sit down and talk through things, pointing out things that the other side didn't know or didn't realize were false, or going both ways. Um, Nobody has it all right, so don't act like you don't need a correction every once in a while. Look, my beard is basically perfect, but that's only because I cut a bitch if they step out of line. That's just how it works. Um, the one person, or personality, if you will, that I love the most is the one that is willing to answer you honestly, the one who doesn't let you get away with faulty logic or logical fallacies, um, the one who doesn't let you keep walking around with a booger hanging out of your nose, the one who's willing to talk something through with you. I've had a few of these people in my life, and they're the ones that I most attribute my current me to. Um, the ones who called me out on my bullshit, who are willing to answer my questions, many of them dumb, um, stemming from incorrect worldviews or immature habits or mentalities, whatever it might have been. They're the ones who set me straight. I beg of you, if you want to get into it, watch my last video. Find flaws in my logic, nitpick at my statements. We need to nitpick at each other to get to the bottom of what's going on. It's just that there needs to be discussion. Some comments keep calling me a moron conspiracy theorist, but no one has yet to provide any real counter to any of the points I made. Um, and having watched it a couple more times, I've already found a couple of things that I would question in what I said. Either way, we need to talk. There's got to be dialogue between both sides. That has to happen. Um, Let me wrap things up, okay? If we don't start talking to each other, they win. Plain and simple. Don't let them win. Whoever them be, okay? So please share this video, if not for my fame, then for the relationships we've all surely lost as a result of this political bullshit. Um, I'll leave you with a quote from MLK Jr. "I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. There's no one who isn't welcome at my table, but you've got to come sit at my table and we've got to talk about things." Thank you.